Hi, and now in this class we will see about the implementation of Kubernetes services. So we had already discussed about the cluster IP, load balancer, node port, and external name services. Okay. So currently in this class we will see the implementation, how you can do with the commands. So before starting the video, let me just check the status of the minikube. So it might be running. Okay, so it's running. So you can also check in your case by typing this command, that is minikube status. Okay, moving forward, what we have to do, first of all, we will create one deployment. We will do one deployment. So how you can do deployment using kubectl? So we will do kubectl create deployment, and the deployment name I give today web app, and the image that I will use is nginx. So okay, I forgot to write this hyphen. Okay. Okay, image is created. Now we can just check the deployment using get deployment command, and also we will check the pods. So here you can see web app pod is has been created, like one is running, so only one pod has been created for that single deployment. Okay, so now moving forward, what we have to do today is I will first show you one picture. So here you can see that I have these four service types and what services we can expose to the outside world. So as you know, cluster IP we cannot, node port yes we can do, and load balancer we can do, external name also we can't do. Okay, so let's see how we have to do. So the first thing which we do is that is cluster IP. So as you know about the cluster IP, it's created by the default. Okay, so now first of all we will check what are the services we have already. So kubectl get services, if I do, so you can see I have only these two services. Now what I am going to do, I will just create one what type of service we can say, cluster IP service if I do. So how you can do it, but we cannot expose it to the outside world. So to expose that cluster IP service, the command which we have, that is kubectl expose deployment, and the name of deployment we need to use, that is in our case we have web app, and then here we will not define the port. Sorry, port I'm saying. Here we will not define that type, what type of service we want to expose. So if you will not define it, so by default it's cluster IP. Okay, so if I do it, so let's check again the get services. So here you can see the type which we have, that is cluster IP. Okay, so this is the cluster IP, the type which has been created. Okay, that service. Now in the cluster, like if there are some other pods as well, then they can communicate to using this IP. Okay, so now moving forward, we have that is node port. Okay, so what we can do with that? Okay, and how we will do it? So let me just clear the screen, and again I will be using the same command, but here instead of uh, like we will add one more flag, that is hyphen type, and here we need to define the type is node port. Okay, so here the type will be node port, and if I will do hit enter, then what that service is be, that service will be created. Okay, so here let me tell you something, like here the port which you are seeing here, that is port equal to 80, it means like you are like that your application, whatever the application is running, that is running on that port number, that is like here in our case that is nginx. So nginx basically runs on port 80, so that's why we are defining here that our application is basically running on port 80 in the pods or the container. Okay, and here we are defining the node port service. So what will happen for the node port, we get the ports assigned between 30,000 to 30,000 32,667. Okay, so between these two, that port will be assigned. So if I do hit enter, so here you can see web already exists. Okay, no problem. So what we can do here, I will just use dash and I will write a node port. Okay, so okay, sorry, expose deployment web app. Okay, yeah, I forgot one thing. See, we need to provide that hyphen name equal to web app hyphen node port, and here you can see service exposed. And if I do get services, so here you will see web app node port. Okay, so here you can see that type is node port and the name of this service is this web app node port. So now what we can do here, now we can just check the what URL has been assigned to that. Like because of node port service, we can access this outside the world. It means we can access it using our browser. So what are the URLs? How you will check the URL, and what what is the IP address, all these things, how you will check it. So here you can see the first which we have, that is port number, is this one we they have assigned, that is 32,000 to 49. Okay, so now what we can do, actually this is we are doing in minikube. So in minikube we can check the IP address using this minikube IP. So this is our IP. Okay, so using this IP only we can access that particular service. So what we will happen, what we can do, we can just copy this, and let me open up this Mozilla Firefox, and I will just hit enter, and I will paste the 322249 was that, I guess. Yeah, so here you can see that default web page of Nginx is coming on the screen. So in this way you can access the whatever service you want using this particular IP. Suppose, and now suppose if you are in the like working environment, or there are no only one node and one master node and one worker node. So what you will do in this case, so in this case you can use this command, that is minikube service, and the name what we have is here web app, service name is web app, node port hyphen hyphen URL. Okay, so this will give you the URL. So this is the same URL which we have used just now. Okay, so in this way you can use the node port service as well. So that was very easy actually. So, and let me tell you some story behind it, what happens, what actually happens when you create this service. So suppose in your cluster you have 2 to 3 nodes, like worker nodes. Okay, so at every node, what will happen, at every node that port will open, that current port which you are seeing here, that is 32,249. So what will happen at at every node, that port will open, and then whenever someone request, so whenever someone requests to that particular your service, so it will be redirected to the Kubernetes service, and then Kubernetes service will decide to which pod or to which like whatever service they have to provide. Okay, this is the like some stories. So actually notepod is also considered as like not secured. Okay, because it opens the port, and suppose some malicious user come, then they can access that port, and some information can be like what we say, the word that is ransomware or something like that. Okay, so now moving forward, what we have to do here is we will talk about now, that is load balancer. Okay, so we have already discussed about the load balancer. So how you can expose that load balancer service. So this is the same thing which we do. We have to just we have to just change the name here. That name which we have, that is load balancer, and the type which we have is and the type which we have is load balancer. Load balancer service exposed. Let me check the services. So here you can see web app load balancer is a service created, and the here you can say it's pending, because we it's not like load balancer is not here, like we are just doing it all these things locally, that's why it's showing external IP as none and pending. Okay, so moving forward, what we can do, let me just again check the IP of my minikube. What it is? Okay, this one, and here you can see the port number which is now assigned is this one, 30,317. So if I will do this change the port number, then also what we can do, it will just come on this screen as well. Why this? Because like we are accessing this on this particular port, but our whatever the thing is, it is redirecting to that particular pod which is running this service. So that's why it's happening, because of Kubernetes service. Like it is all being managed by that service. Okay, so now the last one which we have, that is external name. So let's see how we can do it. So what we can do here, so for the external name, what we do basically, we cannot directly like do here, because we are doing in this what we say in minikube. So as it's locally, we cannot do, and we cannot expose to that outside world as well. So I have a file which I have created already. So here you will see if test.yml. So here you can see how you can just create that particular service to that external name, exposed to that external name. So here you can see in the place of name, you can write that whatever name you want. Okay, like whatever the name. So whatever the name of service is here, okay, and in the external name, you can define the whatever the external name or external some domain name is there. Okay, You can write like that. Okay, so then internally it will work. Okay, so to implement that, you can just use this command. Okay, so in this way that external name service will also be exposed. So that's all for today's, and I hope you like this. And if you have any queries, you can ask us in the comment section. So thank you for watching, and I'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.